Hey guys, it's Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching Mark's WWE Aftershock, and now we're talking about the big one, Summerslam 2015. And if you guys don't know, Summerslam is one of the original 4 pay-per-views before they started doing one every month for whatever reason, and basically it's like the biggest one. It's like the, well, not really, second place of WrestleMania, but yeah, Survivor Series and Royal Rumble have their gimmicks, but SummerSlam is basically like a second WrestleMania in case you just can't have one. So yeah, lots of good matches, and this one was actually 4 hours long. There's just that many matches. I'm actually surprised he still had a pre-show, because I mean that's like 5 hours when you put it all together. And there was an NXT takeover in Brooklyn the night before. I kind of watched part of it. I unfortunately don't know that much about the NXT guys, the ones that aren't in WWE right now. So I'll mention some points here and there because some of it kind of relates to this. Let me just get started with the matches real quick. So let me see here real quickly. The first match started off with Sheamus versus Randy Orton, and I don't know, they don't like each other for whatever reason. They don't really have like this big personal story or something. It's just I don't know, they get in each other's faces or something. So a decent match. They both fought it out. It's a good opener. It was kind of cool that Sheamus basically beat Randy Orton by doing he did a bro kick but he missed. They did another bro kick that kind of knocked what's his name, Randy Orton kind of dizzy, kind of whatever, and then Orton bounced off the ropes and bam, the third bro kick that knocked him out, and Sheamus won. So yeah, he's still on top for those that are fans of Sheamus, aka Rocksteady. Then the next one we had was the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston, with the Primetime Players, which are the current tag team champs, the Lucha Dragons, and the Los Matadores. It was a fatal 4-way tag team. It was kind of funny because anyone can tap anyone, and the New Day even tried to cheat. The New Day actually tried to pin each other because technically speaking, like whoever wins there would still count as the New Day winning. That's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen anyone try that before. But geez, like the match just started and already you're trying to go for the quick win. And well, honestly speaking, this match was basically more about New Day and the Primetime Players. They fought it out lots of times. Of course, the New Day first lost their title to the Primetime Players. And, I mean, the Luchadors were cool, of course. And the Lucha Dragons were awesome with all their high-flying moves and spinning corkscrews in midair and all that stuff. But the thing is, I don't know, they're just kind of there. And both me and Paige agreed that would have been so awesome to just shock everyone and have either Los Matadores or the Lucha Dragons win. But instead, well, in the end, we saw that, what's his name, the New Day won. I forgot, they knocked out one of them or something. And one of the New Day guys pushed Titus O'Neil out of the ring to get him out of the way while they pinned one of the Matadors, I think, and that's how they won. But the thing is, it's interesting though, that now they got the fan base back. Now everyone's actually cheering New Day rocks instead of New Day sucks. So I guess they got their positivity back, or the fans like them. I don't know. I honestly don't even know why the fans started not liking them in the first place. That was kind of weird. But now I guess they regained their favor. I don't know. But yes, the new tag team champs are the New Day, so it is a New Day. And after that, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. And yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Well, we already see that Lana left Rusev. All of a sudden, Summer Rae started hitting on Rusev or whatever. And not only did she join him, but now she dresses up like Lana, like a Lana copycat. And yes, we've been seeing them kind of fight it out. Lana would bitch slap her so hard she would fall on the floor. One of the episodes of SmackDown, Summer Rae actually had Lana stuck in the Accolade and all that. It's just whatever. Actually, I think the girl stuff's more exciting than these two fighting it out. But yes, it was a good fight. Dolph Ziggler actually brought his A game this time. I like that now he's more aggressive. He's no longer Mr. One hit and you're knocked out for the rest of the match. And then you suddenly get up and win when you're distracted or something. Now he was actually fighting the whole way through. Rusev, of course, was the usual powerhouse near the end. Rusev had Ziggler in the Accolade, but the girls started fighting each other, so Rusev kind of let go of him, and they've been, I don't know, the action spilled out in the ring, and it was a double count out, so there was no actual winner. Both Rusev and Ziggler both lost due to a double count out. The girls got each other's faces again. The guys basically had to kind of break it up and basically tear the girls off of each other. But yeah, that's how it ended. But like I said, honestly speaking, I would much rather see Lana and Summer Rae fight it out instead of Rusev and Dolph Ziggler. And it's just, I don't know, it's interesting because the thing is, Lana, technically speaking, isn't a diva. I mean, she could bitch smack her and tackle her down and jump, but she doesn't have actual wrestling moves. And as much as Summer Rae's kind of there and she kind of sort of sucks, I mean, she still has wrestling moves, you know. So I kind of want to see them fight, like an actual match, but I really don't know what Lana can do against her. That's kind of interesting. Or maybe do a tag match of Dolph and Lana versus Rusev and Summer Rae. I don't know, but I want to see that. So the next one we have here is a weird one, which is the Arrows, which is basically, get this, in case you haven't been watching, Neville, because of course you guys moved the Red Arrow, and the actual actor Stephen Arnell, who plays the Green Arrow in this new live-action, Arrow series that's been playing a couple of years. That's really, The Flash is a spin-off of that show too, whatever. And they're fighting against the Lords of Darkness, Stardust, and Bad News Barrett, which don't know why Barrett even got on Stardust side, whatever, but basically, it started off because in one of the Raw matches or whatever, the actor Steven was actually like in the audience front row seat. Stardust now has this gimmick where he's against heroes, he's a villain or whatever, so he starts shoving them around, and Steven actually got in the ring, got in his face a bit, and he demanded Triple H to actually have a match, and it's like, you sure about this? You're not a wrestler. I don't care. Someone put their hands on me, I'm gonna, shove back. So we got this match. And of course, the real big deal was, how's Steven gonna do? Because, he's a TV actor, he's not an actual wrestler. But yeah, he did, he did what he could. He did some punches, some big boots, he did a hip toss here and there. He held his own. Of course, he was kind of like the weak link. There was a time where both Barrett and Stardust were all up on him, and it was really depending on whether or not he could tag Neville in. Neville did get the Red Arrow, I believe, on Bad News Barrett. And just before the match ended, like one last little hoopla, Steven did jump off the rope and knock out Stardust. And actually that was pretty helpful because that's what kept Stardust out of the way, so that Neville could pin Bad News Barrett and just win the match, without Stardust interfering or whatever. But yeah, interesting, I guess. More publicity for the Arrow show, I guess. I mean, it's always awkward when celebrities come in, especially if they have no previous, wrestling training or whatever. But he did a good job. He held his own. He was kind of believable. So, good match. Like I said, lots of publicity, lots of DC references. They were saying stuff like, Neville's as fast as the Flash here, or, whoa, Stardust looks like Bizarro now. So I guess they were going into DC, so kudos to DC, I guess. So, then we have, the next match is the Triple Threat match. We had the Triple Threat match, which was supposed to happen in the last pay-per-view, but of course Ryback had a staph infection. He couldn't, participate. So now we had the Big Show, The Miz, and Ryback for the fatal three-way match. Whoever wins gets the title. Like I said, this was supposed to be done before. Now it's back on because Ryback's back in action. So yeah, they fight it out. As you would assume, The Miz, he's basically the weak link. Because, of course, in a fatal three-way match, anyone who pins anyone wins. You don't necessarily have to pin the champion to win. So Miz would mostly hide around and try to avoid everything, have Ryback and Big Show just beat each other up and try to sneak a pin here and there. There was a time where both Big Show and Ryback were down, and the Miz kept trying to pin one and the other, but of course they would keep kicking out and everything. And near the end of the match, the Big Show got Miz with this knockout punch, and Ryback managed to throw Big Show out of the ring and then pin the unconscious Miz, and bam. So Ryback kept his title, which is pretty good because I was really afraid of the Big Show taking his title so quickly. Ryback hasn't really had that long of an Intercontinental title reign. So kudos to Ryback, he still won, and maybe that'll shut the Miz up for a while. And, well, not really, he'll probably make up some other excuse. Then we have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the Wyatt family, which is Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. As you guys have seen, well, you've already seen the other pay-per-view things. I explained a bit of why Wyatt is suddenly getting into Roman Reigns' space. And of course, the last pay-per-view, Reigns almost put Wyatt away when his mysterious guy in the hood came and interfered or whatever. Of course, it's Luke Harper. For whatever the hell reason, Luke Harper's back helping Bray Wyatt. I really don't know what happened to Eric Rowan, though. He hasn't been seen. But anyways, they fought it out. It was a tag team. It was pretty intense. And, you know, good chemistry with everyone. You know, the Reigns and Ambrose were close because they're friends still from the Shield era, and of course Wyatt and everything. And there was a time where Roman Reigns was really knocked up for a lot of the match. He was gone for a lot of the match, and Ambrose could barely stand. He was like all alone against these two guys just beating the crap out of him. And the audience even started saying like, Roman sleeping, and accusing him of just sleeping it out. And it was kind of funny because shortly after they said that, Reigns got back into the ring. I guess, I don't know, maybe it was like to shut them up or like, I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Reigns came in, they fought it out, and honestly, by now, I kind of forgot. I think what happened was that maybe Ambrose got Wyatt into the dirty deeds, and that's how they won. But the main point is that Reigns and Ambrose won, but of course, with the Wyatt family, this isn't over yet, but at least they won this battle. I guess the war's going to continue. Then, we had this other match that was Seth Rollins versus John Cena, but this was like a winner takes all because Seth Rollins is, of course, the WWE Heavyweight Champion, and John Cena is the U.S. Champion. And there was some back and forth because, well, we know Rollins, all his cheesiness, he always wins with the authority, or he runs the hell out like a little coward whenever Brock Lesnar's around or something like that. So Cena came in accusing him of how cowardly he is. There was a big controversy because one of the matches, Seth Rollins, I guess accidentally, because I don't think that was planned, accidentally busted Cena's nose. And it is like a real life injury. It's not the whole wrestling's fake. I mean, I would assume that Cena was supposed to either like dodge it or something, or it was supposed to like hit him somewhere in the face, but we're supposed to be like, oh my god, he hit his nose. But yes, this actually connected. It actually did bust his nose. He was bleeding for the rest of the match in that particular night on Raw, but Cena continued to fight and he still won in the end. But of course, publicity, pictures, the surgery, oh my god, bleeding, all that stuff. So of course they ran with it, and Rollins kept bragging about how he busted your nose and all that stuff. And so the basic thing about this match is if Cena wins, he would keep both his title and Seth's title. And if Seth wins, he would keep both Cena's and his title. So, yeah, winner takes all. And to shock us all, I guess Seth Rollins came in the white version of his outfit. So that's pretty cool. That was kind of a shocking surprise. And another thing is that Seth Rollins actually fought good. He like went out there. All stops. No chickening out, no, authority, JJ, not security, none of that crap. He actually fought it out. He actually did some amazing moves. He did lots of flips and stuff, lots of, off the rope type stuff, backflips. I mean, he did a lot of good stuff in this match. It was a pretty intense match. He actually did Eddie Guerrero, may rest in peace, frog splash off the top rope. And then the weirdest thing, most random thing, is that John Cena actually grabbed Rollins in the Ric Flair's figure four leg lock. So that was pretty good. It was lots of intense there. And of course, the bad thing about the leg lock is that if you're stuck in it, if you can somehow manage to flip yourself over, it becomes a reversal because now the other guy's in danger. So yeah, Rollins almost had Cena in his own move. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. But near the end, Cena was trying to grab Rollins with the AA that he accidentally, because you pick him up with the feet, accidentally knocked the referee down with Rollins' feet. So once Rollins was down and out, there was really no one there to count. And Rollins got back up and everything, and this is like the most random thing ever. The stupid talk show host guy, wherever he is, Jon Stewart, came out with a metal chair. And, well, we've seen in some episodes of Raw where Jon Stewart got into Seth Rollins' face or whatever, so everyone's expecting him to sock out Rollins, but instead he decided to choose to knock out Cena instead, so Rollins won in the end, and all that stuff, but it's just weird. It's so very weird. I mean, why would he help Rollins? And I mean, I know it's cheating and everything, and I know that I really don't want to hear 3 hours of Rollins bragging about owning both titles now, but it was basically a straight-out fight because he did not really expect Jon Stewart to help him out. It was random even for him. So this isn't like the usual where the Big Show comes to cheat, or, J&J or Kane, whatever. No, this was unexpected. So I still consider it kind of sort of a clean win for Seth Rollins, but it was still the most random thing ever. Why would he help him? I don't know. That's weird. Okay. So anyways, now we got the Divas match. And Stephanie wanted to bring in NXT girls. She brought in Charlotte Flair, which is Ric Flair's daughter. She brought in Sasha Banks, which was the current NXT champion at the time, because the night before she actually lost her title against this other girl named Bayley. It was a very, very intense match and it was actually one of the main events. It was the women's main event for the NXT thing. So it was an awesome match, you know. But, and they also brought in Becky Lynch, and yeah, they kind of split up into teams. So the Bellas already had Alicia Fox. They're called Team Bella. Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks, because I guess Sasha's a bad guy too. They're called Team Bad. And Paige, Charlotte, and Becky became this team. And it was funny because they had no name. Whenever I talked to everybody, like talking to Paige or Chuck Rodriguez or whatever, I would just call them Paige's team because they had no name. And the funny story behind this is that for at least 1 week on Raw, they were called the Submission Sorority until they found out that there's a porn site called that. So they kind of sort of, ignore that episode. And now they're called PCB, I guess, Paige, Charlotte, Becky. It's lazy, but I guess it was thought on the fly. The funny thing is there's actually a video in a con where Paige herself knew and she was trying to tell him, but she's like, well, no one listens to Paige and everything. That was kind of funny. So anyways, this was like a weird tag team match. I thought it was a regular kind of match, but it was a elimination match, so you could pin one of the teams out. So yeah, they fought it out. It's pretty cool. Tamina was of course a powerhouse and whatever, but eventually they did pin out Team Bad, and Team Bad's gone. So now it's basically the Bellas against Paige's team, the PCB, I guess. And yeah, they fought it out some more. It was pretty good. We got to see Becky fighting against Brie for a while because Brie barely, and Alicia Fox actually got some action in there because she's usually just, there. But yeah, in the end it was pretty good. I do believe in the end Becky did knock down one of them girls. I really forgot if it was either Brie or if it was Alicia Fox. I'm pretty sure it was not Nikki herself though. And they won, and it's pretty awesome. My only complaint was that once again, it was not a title match because of course it was a tag match. And it's like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick that the only time the Bellas lose is when it's a tag match or whatever, that the title's not on the line. Every time it's an actual straight up championship match, Paige versus Nikki or whoever versus Nikki, Nikki always wins somehow, and I'm just sick of it. Next pay-per-view, just put Sasha Banks, I don't care, just someone against Nikki, title on the line, and make her damn ass lose the title already. I'm sick of it, But, yeah, good match and everything. The next match was, am I missing anything here? Okay, no, we had Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. They kind of got each other's faces a lot. There was a time where I guess they were fighting it out to see between them who would beat Cena. Every time Cena did his little, title champion challenge or whatever in the shows. But I guess he wanted to sell in the ring. And honestly, Cesaro's pretty cool. I gotta admit, he's pretty cool. And Owens is also kind of cool. Owens actually had this cool fight against Finn Balor for a rematch. It was a ladder match in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn to get the belt back and all that stuff. And it was a pretty intense match. And I was a little worried because the pay-per-view had a lot of title changes. So I was kind of worried that Kevin would get his title back. But no. He still lost, But I gotta say, though, it's kind of brutal to have an intense ladder match against the demon Finn Balor one day, and then the very next day fight out against Cesaro and get swung around and junk. But yes, in the end, Kevin Owens did win. I did kind of figure he would win because he's been kind of losing a few matches, and you can't really have him lose too many matches because then he's not that much of a credible threat if he keeps losing, right? He's got to keep his strength up and all that stuff. So he won, whatevs. And then, of course, the main event, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, the big, matchup, rematch that's been going on. It was so cool how on Raw, because once the last time we saw Undertaker on Raw, came out and they had to hire like all the guys, all the wrestlers in the ring, everyone, like the Ascension guys, the Lucha Dragons, the Usos, everyone, even the people that we barely see anymore, to hold back the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar away from each other. And I like how they had this meeting, they didn't really want to do it, and Vince McMahon is like, you know, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, you keep these guys away. So it's kind of cool seeing all the wrestlers get together and try to separate them and all that. That was always cool. But pretty intense match. Undertaker was in awesome shape. He was in awesome shape. Yeah, I do admit there were still times he was kind of breathing hard or whatever. You know, he's tired, but he didn't have the problems before. I mean, he was knocked down. He would get right back up. I mean, it wasn't like before where he was in the ground and it would take forever to get back up. I mean, I don't know what kind of workouts or he did in his legs this time, but he was able to run around and you know, kicks and do all his stuff. He was still doing the choke slam, the tombstone pile driver. He was taken to Suplex City and he came back from Suplex City, you know, and so like the biggest thing at the end was just the controversial finish, I should say. There was this Brock Lesnar had Undertaker in a submission hold. They suddenly ring the bell out of nowhere. The referee was confused as to why, because he was doing a 1 count like a pin, but it didn't count, so everyone was confused. And while everyone's trying to figure out why the bell was rung or whatever, Undertaker grabs Lesnar in his own submission hold, and Lesnar can't tap out. There's nowhere to go. And one of the things is that Lesnar actually flipped off the Undertaker and just kept it there. I mean, it was just there for a long time before he would eventually pass out. And of course, with that, Undertaker wins. Undertaker theme music. Everyone's happy. But Paul Heyman demands a replay. And the replay does show, in fact, that in the earlier submission hold, Undertaker did tap out. So, unfortunately, he did lose the fight. And, of course, that kind of sucks. But it does kind of open the door for another rematch. I'm just surprised, though, because lately Undertaker only fights, like, once a year, like Summerslam. And now he's been coming down. I mean, he fought against Bray Wyatt in WrestleMania. He fought against Brock Lesnar in this match. And people are predicting that maybe for Survivor Series or something like that, there might be one more match between Lesnar and Undertaker. But I'm surprised. If he could keep it up, that's pretty cool. I mean, he's kind of rebuilding his legacy. He did, even if he lost, even if he tapped out, this was an awesome match of The Undertaker. He was in amazing shape. And of course, Brock Lesnar was his usual, you know, overpowered F5 self, you know, with all that stuff. And, yeah, so basically it for the match. I gotta say, it's a pretty awesome fight, and it was pretty awesome overall pay-per-view. I guess no real downsides. I'm just, you know, I want Nikki to lose her title already. Nothing really to complain about. I mean, all the matches were just super awesome. You had Celebrity with the superhero stuff. You had the Lesnar match. Seth Rollins putting out all the stops. I mean, it was just pretty awesome. I guess the only fight I didn't really care too much about was just the tag team one, because I would have preferred the shock and surprise that the Lucha Dragons or the Matadors won, instead of the kind of sort of expected it was either going to be New Day winning or Primetime Players maintaining their title. But either ways, I would have thought it would have been 10 times more shocking if one of the other guys won instead, you know. But anyways, guys, before I wrap up this review, I do want to say that thanks to the WWE Network, only $9.95, Johnny also got to see the pay-per-view, and here are his quick thoughts on the event. What do you think, Johnny?
Hey guys, this is Johnny Rodriguez in a special episode where we're going to be talking about the WWE Summerslam, because that's like the event everybody's talking about. It's pretty awesome, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. And what can I say? There was a lot of, I would say, unpredictability in terms of certain matches and the results, you know, in terms of who won the match and everything. Okay, so personally, the matches I liked was the superhero one, the one that had Stephen Amell first time fighting in the ring with his tag team partner Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. Even though Stephen Amell did receive quite a beating on certain occasions by Stardust in particular, I like the fact that he stand out pretty well on his own, and he pretty much survived the fight with all his gimmicks, all his athleticism, and it's kind of cool because he looks kind of like a regular guy compared to everybody else. It's a little bit on the crazy side, if you know what I'm saying. So good for them. It's pretty cool they won that match. And another match I personally liked was obviously the Seth Rollins ones versus John Cena. We all know that in the WWE Universe, John Cena is very predictable. He's very like Boy Scout-like. He's always winning the matches, and he's always like the do the right thing kind of guy. And you know, compared to Seth Rollins, he has a bit of an attitude. He has more presence. He's just like a major douchebag, and he's proud of it. He just likes being a douchebag, pretty much. And he's always complaining about things never going his way. And then whenever things do go in his favor, then he would just brag too much about it, like if he's like the best wrestler. In this personal match, on this match, I personally think that he actually did a good job. He did stand out pretty well on his own, and even though there were some cheats, like in the moment that John Cena was doing that thing where he's lifting him up, and then like the Seth Rollins' knee hit the referee, so the referee got knocked down. John Cena didn't see that, so John Cena pinned him down, and you know, of course, the referee is supposed to do the 1-2-3 pin, but because the referee is knocked down, then that kind of gave time for Seth Rollins to recuperate and just get up like normal. But while that was happening, all of a sudden, and this is where I'm talking about the cheat, Jon Stewart, of all people, that apparently I think he had a feud versus Seth Rollins not long ago, one of his, you know, daytime shows or whatever. He actually brought a metal chair, you know, of course, but instead of hitting him, he hit John Cena. Well, no, I'm sorry, he did not hit him. He just laid on the floor, but since John Cena was so kind of beat up, because I guess he gave him kind of, well, not him, but just Seth Rollins gave him kind of a beating, and John Cena was kind of, you know, whatever. So then he pinned him down. He put his face, first of all, he hit his nose in one of those incidents. So that was pretty bad. It's just like the same nose that he hit before, and John Cena just recuperated from the hospital from that nose, you know, misconfiguration. He pinned him down, his head against the chair, and of course that knocks John Cena down. And then by the time the referee was up, then he kind of pinned him in a way that John Cena just has no way to free himself from that. And then Seth Rollins won the fight. What can I say? I mean, it's a big cheat, and it's not right, it's not fair, but personally, I was actually a little bit glad that John Cena got a little bit beat up, because I personally think that John Cena came off as a little too cocky in that last interview he did with Raw, and he acted like way too sure of himself that he was actually going to win this fight. And it's kind of refreshing to actually see him get a really good beating by Seth Rollins, a guy that I think he didn't expect that to happen. So there's a lot of controversy behind all that, but I think that this is not a right or wrong kind of thing. It's just kind of like, it happens, pretty much it. And then of course the most controversial fight of the century was the Undertaker fight versus Brock Lesnar. Now the controversy with the fight, if I remember this correctly, how it ended was Brock Lesnar did a submission hold to the Undertaker. So obviously when you do a submission hold, that means that the other person, that person surrenders, and then the referee would, the bell would ring, and then like, in this case, Brock Lesnar would win the fight. But for some reason the referee didn't see that too well. There was too much going on, so he heard the bell, and then the referee was doing the 1-2-3 count. But then there was a big commotion because he was like, oh, I only counted once, blah blah blah. So then they had to repeat the footage again. You know, his manager, referee Paul Heyman, you know, asked them to repeat the footage. So then of course they repeat the footage, and then they see that that's not what happened, and then they named the Undertaker to be the winner. So instead of the Undertaker losing, because initially it was like Brock Lesnar won the fight, now it's like the Undertaker won the fight. So there's a lot of controversy going on with that as well, and I'm pretty sure that the next WWE program they're gonna be talking a lot about that. So I don't know, that's my opinion. That's what I thought about the event. I think it was awesome. And that's about it, guys. I don't know if there's anything else you guys would like to add, but this is Johnny Rodriguez, and see you next time.
Alright, so that's awesome, man. And hopefully, of course, if you have days off on Sunday, and if your Wi-Fi allows it, maybe you could watch more pay-per-views and drop your hints, your comments. The next pay-per-view is going to be Night of Champions. I assume the titles are on the line in all the matches. We'll see if Seth can keep his title or lose both titles. I wonder how that works. I wonder if now he has to put both titles on the line all the time or whatever, or Sheamus will finally cash in, will Nikki finally lose her title? I mean, I don't know, but we gotta see what happens. So anyways, guys, this is Mark Rodriguez here, and a little comment there from Johnny there, and we'll see you next time on WWE Aftershock. We'll see you in the ring.